So, like, I mean, economic policy, the Biden-Harris administration is significantly better on. I mean, fiscal responsibility, they're better on. Donald Trump signed off on 4 trillion more debt-related spending under his administration. I'm talking signed into law comparative to the Biden-Harris administration. If you look at the Committee for Responsible Federal Budget, plus his campaign plans would add 4 trillion more comparative to Harris's campaign plans, according to the Committee for Responsible Federal Budget. And we can also look at his big beautiful bill he's passing, which will add 2 to 4 trillion, according to the CBO and the Committee for Responsible Federal Budget.
Okay, I see. I mean, this is kind of random because but like I guess like, and I swear I'm not even switching it up, but like from what I remember, like during the like it's kind of random, but like during the Great Depression, Herbert Hoover like he taxed the rich heavy, and it didn't stop
What?
Herbert Hoover.
Can you give me a source that he taxed the rich heavily? The New Deal, if anything, would have been more of that. Actually, that would have been good for the economy back then, because it would
Wait,
have.
let me. No, he raised the marginal
Yeah, and
the
that's
top
right. Yeah.
marginal.
Okay, can you give me? Is that after it happened?
No, that was like the in the
I would
beginning
love to
process.
see, because to my knowledge, it was the other way around.
1 second.
Like I'm pretty sure Hoover like did not have that policy at all. From what I remember, Hoover was like really like lax on regulations.
Let me see. Yeah, Hoover and Roosevelt produced. 1 second.
You said he was president during the Great Depression. What years was he president?
Was it from what 20 not wait 1 second.
Sweet.
Yeah, the Revenue Act of 1932. Yeah, the Revenue Act of 1932.
The Revenue Act of that's after the Great Depression started, isn't it?
Yeah, he didn't it didn't alleviate anything. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, wait. I don't know why you randomly brought this up. What's the point of you bringing this up?
I mean, you believe in taxing the rich, do you not?
I do think that we should tax the rich. Absolutely.
That didn't work during the Great Depression.
I'm sorry. How? What? I'm confused. What do you mean taxing the rich didn't work during the Great Depression?
He raised the top income tax rate from 25 to 63% on the highest earners, and increased
And
corporate
what
tax
makes you
rates.
think that that didn't work? That in
Because
particular.
I mean, they didn't alleviate anything.
So because it didn't alleviate depression, that means that it's not effective policy. Like, dude, what are you saying?
I mean, yeah, from what I'm
What?
seeing,
Wait, I
yeah.
just want to clarify to you. Just because something doesn't alleviate a depression that was experienced globally, the worst recession we've ever had, does not mean that it's not an effective policy. What are you talking about? You are completely using miscellaneous factors. You're not taking into account context of the time, of the history, of what's going on in the economy, of various other variables that could have influenced this to be the case in the very first place, where like corporate taxes aren't going to be a heal to the depression. Like what? Of course, yeah. Increasing corporate taxes are not going to get rid of a Great Depression. Like no one claimed that.
I mean, okay, fine. I mean, I guess so. Um, I mean, all right, yeah. I mean, I'd have to do more research, but I think Japan. I think Japan tried it and they didn't work well. It didn't work well for them either.
What is a high corporate tax rate? What is what
For
is what is
Japan,
that high taxing of the rich? Because there are countries around the world that tax the rich, and it is the case that their economies are doing fine. We can tax the rich. We have taxed the rich, and our economy did fine. I don't understand why you think taxing the rich is going to be bad. Because it is the case that you're saying if you would rather not tax the rich, that you'd rather tax the poor. That's what Donald Trump's doing. He's
no, he's
increasing.
not. He's not taxing the
Dude, the
poor.
big beautiful bill decreases after tax income for the lowest quintile. What
Wait,
are you
no, but it
talking
also
about?
increases the child tax credit rate from 2000
It's
to
still decrease, and including that effect, which Kamala Harris would have done even more of, $6,000 for the first year of a child's life, 3,600 through them being 5 years old, 3,000 through them being 18, comparative to the 2,000 that existed under the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act extension, right? Even so, right, it still led to a decrease in after-tax income for the lowest quintile. That's a fact.
um. Okay, I mean, okay, but okay, so you think 28% is that's good? Then 28% is good.
It'd be better, yes.
Okay, I mean, yeah, I mean, I was like under the impression that that cutting taxes for the rich would like that's more like supply side. That's more like what. That's what I like. That's what I
No,
thought was.
because actually, what you're doing, I want to show you how it's actually not more supply side because you're actually imposing a cost on the cost of production and distribution, right? When you are imposing global tariffs on practically every country, right? On every good that's coming, you understand that that's a cost of production for American firms, right? Because it's a cost push. It's not a tax on the profits that they pull out, it's a tax on the cost of production. Does that make sense? That's why it adds more to the cost of the good than something like any other tax would be like if you're taking it out in terms of profit. Plus, a tariff is also regressive, meaning it disproportionately negatively impacts the lowest income individuals the most, comparative to a progressive tax system like the income tax that disproportionately takes most of the revenue from the top 1%.
So you're saying that? Okay. All right. Uh. I mean, yeah. I mean, with the tariffs, I guess, yeah. I do know that like when we tariff a country, like I guess like the corporations are not getting any profit, so they're gonna raise prices, and we have to. I guess yeah, the price goes down on us. Um. Okay, and then well, the other thing that I did was the that I, like the reason why I like Trump is because of his immigration policies, like his zero tolerance policy, and then his Remain in Mexico policy. Those are the two that I remember. Yeah, those two.
And why do you like those?
Well, because I mean, it decentivizes illegal immigration. Like for example, like from what I can remember with the zero tolerance policy, like I think it's a one time, like you immediately get prosecuted if you attempt to cross the border, right? Under the zero tolerance policy.
I have to check, but I mean, you're the one that's citing it. In terms of Remain in Mexico, though, what's so good about Remain in Mexico? Because Donald Trump didn't choose to implement that until 2019, and it's a executive order that you could have done day one.
Why I like it?
Hmm.
Well, I mean, yeah, because I mean, well, 9 out of 10 asylum cases are misfiled are fake. 9 out of 10.
No, that's only under Trump in terms of his denial rates. He increased denial rates from around 60% to 90%. So that's actually him. The historical rate of denial is around 60%.
So even still, it's like 6 out of 10 are
So
fake
so then
asylum
what you need to
cases.
do is you need to make the process go faster. Plus, I mean, I believe that people like in terms of the asylum process, one that should be extended. Two, in terms of this, for people who are coming to the country through the legal process, I mean, I think the legal process should go significantly quicker. It shouldn't take 5 to 7 years for people to get into the country on average. That's ridiculous. You have to acknowledge that that's ridiculous, and that's what incentivizes people to go through the process undocumented.
Yeah, but it's not. We don't have an obligation to take them in if we desperately don't want them. That's not that doesn't mean that that they should cross the border illegally. Like just because it takes long.
Well, I'm not even making that claim. I'm just claiming specifically that it makes sense for them to do that and that they shouldn't be punished for that.
They should be punished for that. We're gonna. But you're saying we should not deport them back to their country of origin.
No, not if they haven't committed a violent crime or bad crime. We should give them a pathway to citizenship.
No, that why would it matter what crime they do after the border if they violated federal law when crossing the border?
Oh, wait. So are you saying every time that someone violates the law that it should be enforced?
Are you gonna say like with Trump being with Trump being a felon? Are you gonna like
I
do
won't
that?
even give you that example. Do you think everyone who shot a firework illegally on July 4th, right, should be held accountable to the fullest extent of the law?
I mean, I mean,
Every
anyone
single
who shot a
person that
firework
did it illegally. Yeah.
illegally shot a firework.
Yeah.
Well, it'd be almost impossible for us to do that. I mean, for us to
No,
do
I'm
that.
asking you, though, if you could, would you?
Yeah. Well,
Every
that's not
single
a.
person that you can, would you hold them accountable to the fullest extent of the law for shooting off a
But
firework?
if we could, the law. I'm sure law enforcement would,
Well,
but they
I
can't.
just want to let you know, shooting off a firework is a hell of a lot more dangerous in plenty of places where it's illegal comparative to coming to the country undocumented. That's not dangerous. The idea here that you don't care about the facts of reality, that someone literally shooting off a firework being illegal, you don't give a about that, but then you care so much when it's an undocumented immigrant is ridiculous to me. Why? Why do you specifically just apply it to this law, especially when you literally supported a candidate that's criminally convicted of 34 felonies, held civilly liable of woman, and pardoned violent criminals that beat cops on January 6th and admitted to it and were convicted of it?
Well, we can get. I mean, that's a separate issue. But I mean, with illegal immigrants, I mean, like, okay, well, it's a violation of federal law. I think it's U8 U.S. subsection B, like something like that.
Were
I'm
none
pretty
of
sure.
those violations of federal law?
What with the fireworks?
Any of these things, right? I can give you federal law that's also a violation. You're currently on an app called TikTok. Did you know that the only reason you're able to currently use this app is because of the fact that Donald Trump extended the deal, right? And that was just him not enforcing the law. Did you know that? He just didn't
Yeah, but
enforce the law.
I mean, yeah, but these are such small examples of like these are like different examples than like crossing the border illegally.
Of course, they're different examples. What you asked for a different example, right?
No, I mean as in like as in like it's like crossing the border is more severe.
How? In what
Because you
way?
came to,
Who's the victim?
who's the victim?
Yeah, who's the victim? When someone comes to the country undocumented, who hasn't committed a violent crime or bad crime, who's the victim?
This is the country, dude. What?
The country? So you say every single person in the country. Because
Wait,
a country in of itself can't be a victim. People are victims, not a country in of itself.
there doesn't have to be a victim. It doesn't have to be a violent crime or like a there doesn't have to be a
So
victim.
who's the victim? So it's a victimless crime. Is that what you're saying?
That doesn't matter.
Is it a victimless crime?
I mean, in a sense, I mean, like not
Okay, one, it's a victimless crime. What are the harms from this crime?
Oh, somebody said I'm racist. I'm not racist. I have nothing against. Okay,
Dude, I would love for you to respond. What are the harms from this crime?
What are the harms?
Yes.
I mean, sure. Okay, fine. Yeah, I mean, okay. I mean, sure. I mean,
You can't name a single harm.
like a harm. I mean,
Just
I
one.
mean,
Just one. Provide a single harm.
okay. I mean, sure. I mean, I would agree that, like, yeah. I mean, illegal immigrants could, yeah, possibly be beneficial to the economy. I mean,
You
okay,
can't
sure.
name one bad thing?
Well, it's a violation of federal law. That's the bad thing.
So just as it was a violation, you don't really give a shit about that, do you?
I'm not racist. If that's what you're like.
I didn't ask if you're racist. I asked you, do you give a shit about the violation of the law? Do you really
my
care?
parents are immigrants, so I mean, I don't. Huh?
Dude, your parents being immigrants have nothing to do with you being racist or not. Why do you keep bringing that up? I'm not even asking you that. I'm asking you about the law. What the are you talking about?
Wait, say that again.
You don't really care about the violation of the law in every single scenario, do you?
In this scenario, I do. I mean, okay.
Why?
No,
Why
I
in
do.
why in
No,
this
no,
scenario?
every
Wait, no.
scenario.
Tell me why in this scenario do you care? Because you care. You don't care in every scenario.
I mean, okay, so no, I do care in every scenario.
You do? Okay. So then you care that Donald Trump was criminally convicted of 34 felonies, and you wouldn't vote for him, right?
Okay. That whole thing was a fluke. Okay, fine. I mean, okay.
Now he doesn't accept the
can't do
criminal
that, like,
courts.
bro,
By the way, now
huh?
he's just not accepting the criminal courts when applied to Donald Trump. By the way, he's like all like pro about we got to enforce the law, but whenever the law disagrees with his position, then he's like no. But then I ask you,
Okay,
what is
fine,
the reason here
I'll
specifically? It's
vote
not. It
for
can't just
one.
be because it's the law, because you don't give a shit about the law in relation to Donald Trump.
Okay, fine. I'll vote for one convicted felon. Okay, to get to millions out.
You'll vote
for
for
one to
one convicted felon to get millions out. By the way,
Yeah, I
I just
mean-
want to let you know. Can you give me any good evidence that Kamala Harris would not have deported people who have committed violent crimes or bad crimes?
Was she not the border Cesar during? I mean, during. I mean, I don't know how to say it,
Totally
but,
made
like,
up, and you're not listening to my questions. What did I just ask you?
How do you know that Kamala Harris wouldn't? Because she didn't do it.
Kamala.
Because she didn't do it during the Biden administration.
Dude, you're not listening to my full questions, bro. Hey, I need you to like chill for a second. And instead of just responding to me to respond and waiting to respond, listen to the words that I'm saying, because I'm giving you good questions right now, and I want you to respond to those points because I'm trying to lead you towards critically analyzing your own position.
Okay.
Okay. So the border czar was just totally made up. Totally made up. The authority that she was given by Biden was to raise private funds to build up Central American countries to reduce the likelihood of people coming here because of the emboldened economic security because of the private funds.
Okay.
Okay. That's the authority she had. The idea of her being a quote unquote border czar is ridiculous.
Yeah. Okay. So, but the Biden administration as a whole did horrible when it came to the border. You agree?
What'd you say?
The entirety of the Biden administration did horrible
The entirety of the Biden administration did horrible. How so? In
with
what
the
way?
border. With the border,
In what way?
millions of illegal immigrants came.
What did they do to cause that?
They just. I mean, they didn't. I mean, they didn't enforce anything. I mean, like,
They
They
didn't
didn't.
enforce anything. So what policy did they pass saying to law enforcement to not enforce the border?
I'll tell you what they could have done. Like for example, like I mean, we can ask. Like I mean,
I'm sorry. What are you saying? Them keeping the border laws that existed under Trump's administration actually led to there being open borders? I'm
no,
confused.
it's inaction. They didn't do anything about it.
I know, but like they didn't Trump already have the policy set up?
Um. Well, well, I mean, when
Did
was
you
his
know at
Romania
the
Mexico policy?
did you know at the end of Trump's administration there were more daily crossings on average compared to the end of Biden's administration?
Well, yeah, Biden doubled down towards the end of his administration so that he could get reelected.
Wait, it's because of the case that he got an executive order through that the court system, obviously can take away, in the long run. It's only a short-term thing because Donald Trump called for people in Congress to undermine a bipartisan border bill that would have been a long-term, right, compromise on
Oh yeah, yeah.
on immigration policy between Democrats and Republicans. That was a Republican-leaning bill. You're not going to get anything like that now. Like, good luck. Good luck getting anything like what you saw in that bill, by the way. That's
All right, I
actually
remember.
disgust. By the way, Donald Trump said he cares about getting immigration policy done. No, that was the most conservative bill he would have ever got. The most conservative bill he would ever get, and he decided not to accept it because he cared more about running on the border being an issue, running on immigration being an issue, than actually fixing the conditions he said were bad at the border. Because he knows that it's bullshit. He's just using it to get you to clap for him, to vote for him, because he doesn't give a shit about it. Otherwise, he would have done something about it.
So then, how come millions of illegals? Like, I think what I mean,
Undocumented immigrants.
huh?
Undocumented immigrants. Calling someone like an illegal is really weird.
Why is it bad to call someone an illegal
Do you
alien?
call
Why is
me?
that bad?
Would you call me illegal?
What? No, well, you didn't illegally come here, right? Yeah.
I said
Were you born here?
I'm legally in this country. I was born here, right? You wouldn't call me a legal, legal, legal. You wouldn't call me that, okay? If you wouldn't call me that, why do you call undocumented immigrants quote unquote illegals?
Because well, I'm gonna assign that to them because that's what
But it's
because they
dehuman. Yeah,
came
I'm
in.
just telling you, it's dehumanizing. You wouldn't call me illegal.
Yeah, that's different. That's because that you came that you didn't do something that was against the law. I'm gonna call
Okay,
them
wait. So would you call
well, okay,
Trump?
fine,
Wait. So you
undocumented,
would
sure,
call?
whatever.
Do you call Trump illegal? Because he did do something against the law. He's a convicted criminal.
Okay, okay, fine. Okay, I know you're gonna do it. Okay, fine. Undocumented migrant, whatever. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I mean,
go ahead.
no, they're human. Okay, fine. All right. Um. So wait, you haven't. Wait, have you answered? Wait, so okay, so if you check the stats in May of 2024, well, I mean, about what was it 64,000? I believe it was 64,000 illegal immigrants that came across the border. In May 2025, it was zero.
Zero? You really think there was zero?
May 2025, yeah. I mean, yeah, May 2025, yes.
You really think there was zero people?
That was the statistic that
Where?
was
Show me a single source.
okay. You're gonna get mad. It was Fox. I know you don't like Fox, but it was Fox News. What's
What's the
that? What?
title? It says
Huh?
trust me, bro.
Oh my God. Okay, what? It's just okay. Here, you know what?
What's
Hold
the
up.
title of the Fox News article?
I'll show you right now. Hold up. One second.
Do, 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 do,
It's
do, do, do,
all right. There we go. Okay. All right. This is the source. The according to the CBP.gov, in May 2025, the U.S. Border Patrol released zero illegal aliens into our country. A staggering
No,
drop from more than $62,000. I mean,
May,
sorry,
wait, what's the title?
www.cbp.gov.
So
Wait, okay, the title. No, okay, my bad. That was URL. My bad. The title's
you think Customs and
CBP
Border Patrol
releases.
said
I'm
zero?
sorry. CBP releases May 2025 monthly update. I mean, I think that's looks like the title. Yeah. So this is according to the U.S. Customs and Border Protection.
Okay, so it's just the U.S. border releases zero people. You're.
Yeah.
I don't see what
I
your point
conflated the
is.
two. I know. I conflated the two. Sorry, Biden
That's
released.
by the way, this is the CBP under Trump's administration. The Trump admin just describing this because they're claiming undocumented immigrants were released in the country because they're probably referencing asylum seekers.
Yeah, that's why I like Trump's remain in Mexico policy. Asylum seekers will wait in Mexico until we evaluate, and if they qualify, which most don't,
So,
most are
okay,
coming in
I just want to let you know
because
the Remain in Mexico border policy is ridiculous. I have a question. Someone who is coming from Mexico and seeking asylum from Mexico, where should they stay while they seek asylum?
well, considering the fact that most of the time it's fake, then they just stay where they were before. Because most of the
So,
time it is
so to,
fake,
so to
even
clarify,
before. Sorry.
the 40% of cases that are accepted, the 4 to 10 people, they should stay in the country that they're seeking asylum from while their court claim is being processed. Isn't that like a threat to their safety, given that they're seeking asylum?
Well, nine out of 10. We're going to use Trump's case here.
That's ridiculous.
Why would that be ridiculous? This is
Because
according to Tom Homan.
No, because he's deciding to increase it purposefully. Historical denial rates are nowhere near that high.
Most people aren't seeking asylum from Mexico. They just want a
I
better
never,
life. I can
so
understand that, but it's not.
I'm talking in the circumstances in which that's true.
Someone said running from health. Yeah, run. No healthcare is okay. Wait, sorry. What'd you say?
Stop looking at the comments. Seriously, you're on a live talking to me, dude. Turn off the comments, dude. If it's such a distraction for you, turn them off, dude. You're having a dialogue with me, bro.
Okay.
Jesus Christ, dude. You're having half of the dialogue with the comment section where you're not even listening to the things that are coming out of my mouth. So for the 4 out of 10 cases specifically in which people do get accepted under the law, you think in those cases that they should, right, stay in the country that they're seeking asylum from if they're seeking asylum from
Yeah.
Mexico?
Yeah, because a lot of them, when they get released into the country, they don't actually.
Yes. Okay. So just to clarify, you got rid of the entirety of the reason why the asylum process exists in the first place. Because the whole reason why the asylum process exists is so that someone can get out of those set of circumstances of being persecuted. That's what the whole asylum process is about limiting persecution. If someone's being persecuted, you don't want them to stay in the country they're being persecuted in. What? That makes no sense at all. Literally none. And then if you allow them to come into the country, well then anyone who has an invalid asylum claim can just claim that they're from Mexico and then can come into the country and can stay here while the asylum claim is being processed, and then they don't go to the court system. You know that 90% of cases, specifically for where people are seeking asylum, over 90% of cases, it is a case that they go to their court cases. It's a very small percentage. I'm talking like 1 to 2% of cases where people don't show up to their court cases.
Okay. I mean, wait. Is that a verified statistic? 9 out of 10 don't.
Yeah.
9 out of 10 go to their court hearing.
Over 9 out of 10, yes.
Okay. But weren't a record amount of illegal immigrants? Okay, fine, sure. Okay, fine. But what about a zero tolerance policy? We already went over that. But like, okay, so then how come there were? But like, I believe it was December of 2023 was the most illegal immigrants that came in 1 month under the Biden administration.
Okay, so again, you just saying there is this number of undocumented immigrants that came in the country under Biden's administration. Therefore, Biden bad is not a good way of analyzing this. Do you know what a correlation causation fallacy is?
Yeah, I know what that fallacy is, but when
Okay.
Trump came
No,
in,
I want to explain it to you because you clearly don't.
No,
Because
I know what that
because two variables are associated does not mean one cause the other. There are plenty of things that have high correlations that have absolutely no relation at all. What I would like you to do is I'd like you to look up something called spurious correlations. The first thing you look up, you can literally it's really basic. Here's a good one. This is a really, really high correlation. There's a really, really high correlation between Google searches for Batman and the number of security guards in Oklahoma. You obviously agree that the amount of Google searches for Batman does not cause more security guards to exist in Oklahoma. They have no relation at all. Yet
Yeah, I
there's an
know.
extraordinarily high level of correlation. So just because two things are correlated does not mean that one caused the other.
yeah, but I mean, when Trump came in, it decreased. So I mean, I
I just explained to him how a correlation causation fallacy does not
That's-
demonstrate it to be true.
Hold up,
And then
no,
he's like,
it's-
dude, it's correlated.
Yeah, because Trump carried out his mass deportation. So I mean, obviously, people are being.
He said, dude, it's correlated.
Yeah.
Okay, well then,
in this case, it is.
so you
correlated.
said he carried out his mass deportations. Did you know that he's deported less people?
Well, I mean, yeah, that's because Tom Homan actually addressed that in one of his speeches. That's because there's not as many border encounters.
Yeah, okay. So then that would just be
You
related
guys
to the
think?
environmental circumstances that are happening. And also then he's not engaging in the quote unquote mass deportation of 20 million people that have come into the country. I thought he had 20 million people to deport. What happened to that? I
Well,
thought
it's
there were
not 20
so many
million.
people in the country that he could deport already.
It's not 20 million. I mean, I guess, yeah, I mean, that's not that. He over exaggerated that, but I mean, it
He
wasn't 20
over
million.
exaggerated. Oh,
He did, yeah.
okay. So
So it wasn't
like
20 million.
so obviously you don't actually think that like okay, so can you give me an actual real policy of something that he did rather than just like over exaggerations?
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, like I said, there's just the zero tolerance policy was amazing, in my opinion.
But you didn't even know what it was. You asked me how it operated. Like,
Yeah,
dude, mention a policy you actually understand. Come on.
yeah, I'm pretty sure. I mean, that the people were complaining about it separating families. I mean, that's. I mean, you immediately get prosecuted if you try to enter the border. You immediately get. That's what the policy was.
I have a question. Do you agree with separation of families?
No, I don't want. Listen, I don't want families to get. I don't like families getting separated. Okay, I don't want families to get separated. That's not. I don't want it to happen.
So I have a question. If a child is a legal citizen, their parent is not a legal citizen, should the parent be deported?
Yes. Okay. Okay. That. Okay.
You
Yes.
think you
But
would separate
no,
the
I don't.
kid
No, I
from
don't.
their parent literally
No.
just
No.
because
No.
the
No.
parent is undocumented and the kid is legally in the
No. 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 No.
country?
No. No. She can. That person can take the kid with them.
Oh, so then you think that they should be deported? The legal
No.
citizen.
No. We don't forcefully deport the legal
Okay, so
the
so to
legal.
clarify, you're saying to the parent, either you can take your kid back to the country or you can leave them in this country and go back yourself. Is that what you're saying?
Listen, like, again, like, I don't want families to be separated, but I mean, like, okay, for example, if someone does like
Can you
if
answer
someone
my
does a
question? I
crime,
asked you a very specific question and you just realized in your head that it made you look bad, so you didn't want to respond to it.
okay,
What type of
yeah, because
politician type of
you're trying to
response
like
is that?
we don't want families to be separated, but but when we deport uh, people with kids, we're not doing it with the intent to separate the family. That's not our intent. That's not my intention. That's not
Okay,
Trump's
then if your
intention.
intention is not to not separate the family, then why don't you say that the person whose kid is a legal citizen and then they're undocumented should be given a pathway to citizenship where they don't have to leave the country?
The parents?
Yeah.
No, we're not going to do that just because they have kids, though. We're not giving them an exception because they have
Oh, okay.
kids.
So then what? Okay. So then what do you care about? Obviously, you don't care about that intention. So what else do you care about?
No, wait, what?
You obviously didn't care about that intention. So what else do you care about?
No, what do you mean? What intended? What are you talking about?
What were we just talking about, bro?
The in, no, I do care about I do care about no, the intention. No, yeah, no, yeah, that's yeah. Trump's intention is not to do that. I do care about the intention. Trump's intention is not to support, not to separate families. That's not his intention.
Okay. If his intention is to not separate families, then why are you giving them particularly an option of either you take your kid back to the country in which you came from, where they right, which they're illegal, the kid's a legal citizen in this country, or it is the case that you leave them in this country and you go back. You're not giving them an option to stay in this country with their kid.
Yeah, I mean,
So do you realize
yeah,
do you realize that's the family separation policy?
and then
Oftentimes that people
yeah,
have huge issues with. I mean, like for example, if there was a situation of abuse, right, where like a parent is abusing a child, we agree legal citizens. We should separate parents from their children in that circumstance, right? So those would be circumstances in which, for example, the Obama administration did separate families. Would be like the same types of situations where we separate families where they're legal citizens. Okay, you don't want to apply these different standards to undocumented immigrants comparative to like U.S. citizens, right? I think that they should be given equal protection under the law as granted under the 14th Amendment.